Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another video. So, I know I said shortly after I made the PS4 video that, it wasn't doing that great and people were really liking it. So I'm like, I'm gonna go back to indie games or whatever. So right after I posted the next video of me going back to indie games, that one started taking off and I got a ton of comments saying like, hey, this isn't my recommended. Thank you, by the way. So in light of that, I am going to keep going and I'm going to keep making things like that because quite frankly, they're just kind of fun to make. So today we're going to be looking at, you guessed it, because it's in the title, the M1 MacBook Air, how it holds up in 2022. I'll share my experience with you guys, obviously, because that's all I have to go off of. I've had this for about a year and a half now. I got it when I graduated high school, so that would have been last summer, and obviously we are in fall of 2022. So I got it last summer. It's been great. I used it for college before I dropped out. Obviously, I have a skin on this. It doesn't come with the skin. It had a bottom, but the skin actually broke. So that has nothing to do with the computer. That just has to do with the quality of the texture I got, which it was like a $20 thing from Amazon, so it's nothing perfect. Space Apple, I like it. Yeah, so we're gonna run through some quick tests just to kind of see how the laptop actually functions in this day and age. They are included, but not limited to, performance tests with noise and heat covered. So we're gonna be going over thermals and seeing how it actually handles thermal energy. All right, that's literally just me just trying to sound intelligent, saying that we're gonna see if it gets hot. So anyways, moving on, we're gonna go on to battery life, seeing how the battery holds up because it is a year and a half old and batteries do not last forever. So we're gonna see how this works and how it holds up in this day and age. We're going to go into portability, so how easy is it to like take with you if you got to go somewhere on a business trip or whatever. Connectivity, keyboard, mousepad, not mousepad but trackpad. Wow. So like how it just holds up overall, like the connectivity, is it usable? Obviously you're gonna have to use dongles, spoiler alert. And then my thoughts in conclusion. So we're gonna go right into this. A little bit of history about my usability with the machine. I bought it as my graduation present with my graduation money. That's a little bit personal, but whatever. Yeah, I got this for college because I was going to college for science and I needed a good computer for research capabilities and that sort of thing. So I purchased this because what I had prior, I'll show you guys. I guess it's not really prior because I still own the machine. What I was using before is this Hunka Chunga, which is an Alienware 13R3. So it's a gaming laptop. There's nothing practical about it. Obviously it's like thick, it's heavy. It's a Chungus. It's got an i7, which is what drew me to it, and then it's also got a dedicated graphics card. So that's pretty cool. It gets hot. It's got a ton of ports, which is kind of neat, I guess, but it also weighs like 30 pounds and gets super hot, and the battery lasts like 30 minutes. Clearly, that was not going to cut it for my college education because I was not going to be near an outlet the majority of the time. Actually, that's a lie. I was by an outlet a lot. I use this for video editing. I use it for music production because... Hello? I use it for video editing, I use it for audio production, I use FL Studio, it works great. We'll go through a bit of a performance test on that in a little bit. All right, so starting off the performance test, we're gonna actually start by shutting the machine off, and obviously there's one way to do this, healthily. There's me, awkwardly holding the camera in the back. That screen, I noticed this while filming, it looks atrocious on camera, but it's actually not as bad in real life for whatever reason, so that was kind of weird, and I was like a bit taken aback with that, but anyways, that's irrelevant. So turning it on, obviously you get the nice Apple logo, a little boot noise. Everybody knows it, everybody loves it. And voila, that's the login screen. I'm gonna pan the camera away. Just don't look at my password. Logging in. It's very quick, obviously a lot quicker than the PS4 I reviewed the other day because apples and oranges. So, and you're already at the desktop and my Spotify. Clearly more than capable in terms of boot speed. That kind of is going to illustrate and dictate how the rest of this review is going to go. As for how it's held up in this day and age, spoiler alert, it does really well. Okay, so moving into some more performance tests, obviously opening up Firefox, that's my main browser, going to Google. Web browsing is all super fast, super efficient. I've had no issues with it unless I've had a crummy internet connection. My internet connection is decent at my house, but yeah, no problems with that. It'll handle it. Moving into FL Studio, that is my audio production software. So pretty beefy, pretty big, and it boots right up, no problem. We're gonna go in and open a project. Open that bad boy up, and boom, we're there. I'll actually give you guys a little bit of a sample, just not quite to promote my own music and my own producing skills, but just to like hear how the speakers actually work too. So yeah, speakers work pretty well. Obviously it's gonna sound not as good because I recorded that with an iPhone camera. They get the job done. I actually really, in terms of like bassiness of these speakers, it's nothing mind-blowing, but you do hear bass and it sounds pretty full, as opposed to like some other standalone electronics that get like that tinny kind of weird bass sound, or you can't hear any bass at all. You can hear a little bit of bass, so the range is actually pretty far in terms of like what frequencies actually get yoked out of the speakers of this thing. So next, going into DaVinci Resolve, opening that up after a fresh boot up. That is my video editing software, which is even thicker than the audio production software. So on a lot of my Windows laptops, even my big beefy one, this can get a little bit laggy. Those fans were my desktop PC. That was unnecessary because nothing was happening on that. But that boots right up. Sorry I missed that boot intro. It's nothing interesting, but you can just kind of see how quick that booted up. And then my desktop, as I was saying, or my laptop, excuse me, it gets a little bit laggy with this software. The Mac handles it like a champ. No lag whatsoever. Editing and playback, there's no issues with that. And then obviously you can like export it in quicker than real time. I've been exporting 1080p videos in quicker than real time. The editing is great on it. So this entire video is going to be edited on this little fella. That PS4 video I made, edited on this little fella. So it does great for this sort of stuff. It's made for it. So now we're going to move into battery life, just kind of see how it's held up over the years. Like I said, I use this a lot, so I have exhausted the battery and then recharged it many a time. On average, I haven't been using it a lot lately, so the footage I'm going to show you is not super. If you're using this every day for work, it's not really going to illustrate exactly how it would be for you, because I don't use this as often as I used to. I used to use it like every day, pretty much all day. But now I use it maybe a couple times a week for an hour or two at a time. When I was using this all day, every day, I could get about, I was pulling like 14-hour homework days, and that is 14 hours of this being open on the internet or whatever, doing my homework. And I would probably get about a day off a single charge, and then I just charge it every night. So battery life is significantly better than the majority of other laptops you're going to get, which are a couple hours. As you can see right now, it's at 77%. Yeah, that's just a couple days. It is the 7th. Moving into battery health, last full charge was the 4th, and I've used it a couple times since then for a few hours with like applications and whatnot, some word processing, some video editing, and it's only at 77%. And moving on to the portability section, I don't have the exact specs, but it's light, obviously easily foldable. You pick it up, it's like a paperweight, so you can hold it in one hand, easily maneuver it with one hand, and you know, it's light. And in addition to it being light, it's also small. So small enough to fit in this little backpack I have, which is smaller than any other backpack I've ever owned. This is what I use for college. The actual laptop is like a 13-inch screen, so in case you were wondering. Obviously fits in there, no problem, and you still got plenty of real estate. So moving on to connectivity slash keyboard slash trackpad. So for connectivity, you get 2 USB Type-C ports, that's it. And then you also get a 3.5mm headphone jack, obviously for headphones. Nothing on the front, paper thin, nothing on the back, you know, Apple, space Apple. Moving on to the trackpad, it is like the one click, so you can click anywhere on the trackpad, which is super nice trackpad feel. Keyboard is great. They improved it from their whatever they used to call it. I can't remember if this is the butterfly keyboard or if the last one was the butterfly keyboard, but you know the one that was like really flat that nobody liked? Yeah, it's not that one. It's the good one. If you want to do anything that is like normal USB based or whatnot, you're gonna need a dongle. Actually, you're probably going to need a dongle for regardless of what you're using it for. Here's what I use. It is by Benfee. I don't know. I got it off Amazon. It's obviously USB-C. It's got an SD card reader, a micro SD card reader, USB 3.0, USB 2.0, and an HDMI. So this has been amazing. I have never needed anything more than this. It's like $15, $20 at max for something like this. And it works great. I've had no issues with it. This is what I use to get all my footage from that camera into this PC. It's not a PC, it's a Mac. I'm sorry. In conclusion, would I recommend you buy this over the M2 MacBook Air that is out? I don't know if it's actually out or coming out yet. Don't quote me on that. So just a little bit of info on the MacBook Air M2. It looks great. This is actually, I was just researching it this morning. It looks pretty spectacular. All right, so that's kind of what I'm looking at here. There's it looks pretty amazing. I do really like it. I did not realize that they actually changed the whole design. So I'm kind of a sucker for that look. I think it looks great. But at the same time, I really like this old design that they have, you know? I don't know the price this starts at because Apple's site is actually down. I see they brought back MagSafe. Ooh, that's really nice. I love MagSafe. But other than that, it's like same connectability wise. And then it's going to be a little bit faster in day-to-day stuff because they upgraded their chip to the M2. So if we go to the buy tab, see they're down at the moment. So that's kind of interesting. However, when I was browsing Google trying to find a price, I did see something around the $1,200 range for that. So that's going to be probably about starting price for this individual machine, as opposed to, I think mine was like $899 for this one. And for that price, you still get all the great performance and everything I've just outlined in this video, as opposed to the M2. I'm sure you've done your research on the M2 and probably know more about it, than I do. So I'm gonna not pretend I know more about this machine than I've already, expressed to you. In terms of would I recommend this in 2022, does it hold up in 2022 for day-to-day use in productivity stuff? Absolutely. This is more than capable of doing productivity things in 2022. Like I said, I use it almost every day for music, for video. It's great. Mind you, this is the base model, so this is like as low spec as I could get it because I was budgeting at the time, poor college student. It still does all this great stuff. It's amazing. I love it. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed my review and kind of explanation of my experience with the M1 MacBook Air in 2022 and for the past year and a half. So I hope this helps you just to kind of get a grasp at this device is more than capable of keeping up with the competition in 2022, and even its newer, younger siblings or whatever, it keeps up with the pack. So it's pretty great. I have no complaints with it. Oh, I didn't even go over cooling or heat, which is non-existent. It doesn't get hot. It doesn't have fans because it's the M1 chip. So I think it's only gotten a little bit warm on the bottom, but no fans kick in, and it really doesn't get hot. I don't understand it. It blows my mind. Okay, now that's gonna do it for this video. I thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a big old like. If you didn't like it, give it a dislike. It'll break my heart, but it's okay. And if you really like this video and want to see more of my stuff in the future, make sure to hit subscribe. I also do a lot of gaming content, which is more just my personality on display. So if you're into that sort of stuff, go check it out, I guess. Thanks again for watching, and I will see all y'all in the next one. Stay frosty, folks. Bye.